My name is Yulia Studnichuk. I am the official representative of the International Public Movement's Politics 2.0, and I would like to deliver this short message to the international community, to the governments of other countries which have diplomatic relations with the Russian Federation, to the countries and their representatives of the international organizations like the United Nations, to the embassies and the ambassadors, all of them, all of those who do have diplomatic relations with the Russian Federation, do have contacts, agreements, some projects and business contracts signed with the governments of the Russian Federation, and have some negotiations going on with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, former president, let me say it at once. So what we are facing right now in Russia is an anti-constitutional revolution, in fact, which is being led by Vladimir Putin. On January 15th, he violated the basic principle of the Constitution. He proved he is not the guarantor of the Constitution by violating this principle, which sounds like the nation of the Russian Federation is the only source of power in Russia. And Vladimir Putin said that the nation of the Russian Federation is the main source of power, which is a very brutal violation of the basic constitutional principle. And while investigating this case, while making the appropriate law enforcement bodies in Russia take some action, we, the people of the Russian Federation, found out, and we have this official proof sent to us by the Joint Prosecutor's Office, that for 27 years we've had a regime which has been anti-constitutional and anti-people in Russia, because there hasn't been any legislation providing for supervision over the actions taken by the president, by the head of the state parliaments, and the deputies of the state parliaments, which means that they actually, according to the current legislation, stand above the law. There is no legal control over their actions. No organization, no law enforcement body, no prosecutor, no specifically created council can even check whether the actions, the decisions made by the president are legal, constitutional or not. So right now we see that this group of people stands above the law, which is anti-democratic, which violates the basic democratic principle that everybody is equal against the law, that law is the same for everybody. And this is the violation of the basic principle of the Constitution, because the Russian Constitution says that the Constitution and the federal laws have supremacy on the whole territory of the Russian Federation. So we found out this fact. Actually, we have an official reply from the General Prosecutor's Office saying that there is no supervision of the actions of the president. And we found out that this regime has been existing for the 27 years since the moment that the Constitution was adopted. And we now turn and we now appeal to the international community, to the international organizations like the United Nations, to the other nations and the leaders of the other nations, in order to inform you that from January 15th, 2020, Vladimir Putin is not the president of the Russian Federation anymore. His activities should be investigated, and he is to be brought to trial so that the court could make the final decision whether he is guilty or not, whether his activities are constitutional or anti-constitutional. All this regime, all these activities made by the regime, all the decisions, all the laws adopted, are to be investigated in order to find out whether there are elements of the crimes against the humanity or not. We do have proof. We do have proof that there are facts of, there are elements of the crimes against humanity, which we see in the Russian Federation right now in the policies implemented in the country and on an international level. But we need the court to make the decision. We need the court, the international independent and public court, to judge this regime, to judge Vladimir Putin and all his actions, whether they were constitutional, how much the scale of his guilt and the guilt of other members of this group. And right now, while we are waiting for the court to come, while we are making actions in order to detain Putin and other members of this regime, of this group, and waiting till they're brought to court and judged independently and publicly, we claim that there is no legitimate constitutional and legal power in Russia, but the citizens of the Russian Federation. Only the people of the Russian Federation, according to the Constitution, is the only source of power, and the people have the right to execute the power directly. So this is the moment when the people form this collegial guarantee of the Constitution, and the people, the citizens, are the only source of power, the only power, existing power right now. And we, the group of people who haven't delegated, the citizens who haven't delegated the power to Vladimir Putin, who have conducted activities basing on the Constitution and basing on the current law, who demand right now this trial of Vladimir Putin and his accomplices. We are right now form this collegial guarantee of the Constitution, and we appeal directly to the international organizations, to the leaders of other countries, to inform you that no cooperation, no negotiations, no agreements, no activity whatsoever is to be conducted with Vladimir Putin, because he is not the legitimate president of the Russian Federation right now. His actions are made not on behalf of the nation of the Russian Federation, but on his own behalf, and he personally is in charge for all the decisions he is making, because all these decisions are legally void right now. His appointments are illegal, his decisions on behalf of the Russian Federation are illegal, and we will claim to courts to review these decisions actually, and to make him responsible for all these decisions made on the international level. And specifically, I would like to stress out these military crimes and military activities which are happening right now. The Russian nation is not in charge for any military crime which are happening right now all over the world, where some Vladimir Putin's decisions are involved. The Russian people are not to be held in charge, are not to pay some kinds of compensations to the nations to cover the damage and other damages. This is Vladimir Putin who makes this decision, and he's in charge, and he has to cover all the damages from his own personal savings. And we are sure that there are some savings which can be found somewhere in offshores, and these are to be used to cover these damages caused to other people, other nations, other property, other nations' property. So we will be appealing directly to the embassies, to national governments and national leaders, in order to inform you officially of the situation right now in Russia and of our activities which we are taking right now. And we have already informed the United Nations Security Council, the United Nations Human Watch, and we will keep our activities on the international level in order to prevent you from having any contacts with this person who is now to be judged, in order to have some legal, how should I put it? So that there would be some court solution on his guilt for what is happening right now in Russia, for all the conditions of life for the nation, of the people of the Russian Federation, and also to He is in charge for this violation of the basic human rights, including the right to take part and to elect and be elected. We are facing right now some limits which actually show that the people are not allowed to take part in the elections. Having this, the situation when there is no supervision over the presidential activities. Right now, we have no opportunity to have this legal check be carried out inside of Russia. So let me tell you once again that we will now be turning to the nations and the embassies directly, and all further official activities are to be conducted directly with the citizens of the Russian Federation.